aviator jackets similar to Kuhn's. Each plane flew with a crew of 6 men, a pilot, a co-pilot, a navigator, a flight engineer, and 2 cargo handlers. Escorting the flight crews was a man in a button-down shirt with a bolo tie and a clipboard. "Commander Kuhn," the escort said warmly. "I'm Jim Evers, the manager here at ASURF." Evers pronounced the facility acronym ASURF. "Both XD-10 and XD-11 have been checked out and all systems are flight-ready." Kuhn pulled a thick envelope from his breast pocket and handed it to Evers. "Here's our flight plan for this short hop to Waco." Evers pocketed the envelope. "Your planes are fueled, so once you finish your pre-flight, you can get out of here." "Thanks." As Evers walked away, Kuhn turned to the 2 flight crews. "You guys know the drill. Let's get these old birds in the air." The Ice Queen and Polar Pete flew a low route across southern Texas, carefully avoiding civilian air traffic control radar as they bypassed Waco and headed into the Gulf of Mexico. The flight crossed over the Yucatan Peninsula, then turned south toward Honduras. "I'm picking up the beacon," the navigator announced. "Bearing 215. Kuhn glanced out his window at the rainforest below, the thick foliage barely 100 feet beneath the aircraft. "About friggin' time," Kuhn said impatiently. He had wanted to land before sunset, but an unexpected headwind had increased their flight time. Kuhn deftly turned the Ice Queen until his heading matched the one his navigator had given him. 5 minutes later, he saw a gaping hole in the jungle canopy. The runway looked to be in good condition and certainly long and wide enough to handle a Hercules. Along one side of the runway, he saw a cluster of large tents, a few heavy trucks, a helicopter, and a tall pole with a windsock fluttering in the breeze. "X-ray Delta 10 to X-ray Delta 11, over." 11, over, Holland replied. "I'm going to circle around and land. You follow me in. Lead the way, 10, X-ray Delta 11 out." Kuhn piloted the Ice Queen in a smooth arc that aimed the nose of his plane down the length of the runway. Descending, he skimmed over the treetops and then dropped into the clearing. Sun-baked earth exploded into clouds of dust when the wheels touched down, the gray plume trailing the Ice Queen down the length of the runway. Holland waited until the dust cloud settled before making his approach. "Just like riding a bike," Holland said as he brought his plane down perfectly. Once on the ground, Holland taxied Polar Pete behind a jeep with a sign that read, "Follow me," and was led to a space beside the Ice Queen. A man with orange-tipped wands guided the plane into position and, once there, signaled Holland to cut his engines. As Kuhn, Holland, and their crews stepped out of the planes into the steamy heat of the Honduran jungle, 5 brown-skinned men trotted out from the tents. Each grabbed a length of steel pipe from a large pile and began assembling scaffolding around the aircraft. "Commander Kuhn." Kuhn turned as a tall, lanky man dressed in military-style khakis walked toward him. The man had thick black hair and a full beard that gave him the look of a left-wing revolutionary. "Sumner Durock?" Kuhn asked. "Yes. It's a pleasure to finally meet you," Durock said perfunctorily in Gallic-tinged English. "You cut this strip?" Kuhn asked. "No. The Nicaraguan Contras cleared this area to receive supplies from you Americans. We merely restored it. Did you encounter any problems?" "None," Kuhn replied. "Everything went according to plan, and both aircraft are flying perfectly." "Good. For the next few days, I expect you and your men to work with my staff in preparing for our mission." "My men will be ready, but right now we're in need of a bite to eat and some downtime." "Tents have been assigned to you and your crew." Durock made a motion with his hand, and a swarthy man dressed in khaki ran over. "Commander, this is my executive officer, Léon Abré. Léon, show the commander and his men their quarters, then take them to the mess tent and see that they are fed." "Yes, sir." After finishing his dinner, Kuhn stepped out of the mess tent and walked back over to the planes. Both were now enmeshed in a framework of vertical poles, crossbars, and wooden planks. A diesel generator purred nearby, powering work lights attached to the scaffolding. At several points, tall poles rose out of the scaffolding to support a broad sheet of camouflage fabric that completely covered both planes. The fabric not only hid the air